Critics say big tech is having an almost tobacco industry type of moment, arguing that today's platform companies are either having a toxic impact on our mental health or engaging in anti-competitive, almost monopolistic practices. For years, the largest internet companies have been too fast a moving target to regulate. However, as they become even more intertwined in the fabric of our lives, we'll see legislators coalesce on issues like antitrust, data privacy, and misinformation. It's just not going to happen overnight. The vast complexity and fast-changing nature of big tech platforms mean that today's regulators are under-resourced to fully address the targeted changes, and are also unlikely to anticipate numerous unintended byproducts legislation would create. Given how vast, complex, and interconnected these businesses are, we think ultimately it could take regulators decades, if not more, to come to consensus on how and what to regulate within these industries. They'll also have to come to quorum on which companies and harmful practices to indict, and all the while avoiding those policies becoming almost obsolete given big tech's pace of innovation. The challenge becomes, if this truly is where people want to connect with their friends and family, watch amazing content, spend their days, you can't really get in the way of that from a regulator standpoint. When you think about things like first-party versus third-party goods being sold, data privacy, kids' usage of social media, all of these things pose problems both from a societal and commercial aspect down the road. Ultimately, these issues seem most addressable to us by creating a specialized digital regulatory agency that can take a firmer stance on the outsized role big tech will play in our lives. Unfortunately, until then, we believe the future is likely to be a long battle over proposed rules and regulations, with fines over fixes looking like the path forward now. Given the way the pandemic accelerated the digital transformation, the secular trends that were on display over the last 2 years have elevated those in the minds of every investor in the world. Thus, in theory, it's never been easier to identify those secular trends. All that said, given the state of the world, the market's volatility, the potentially deteriorating consumer, investors have very little confidence right now, and it's very challenging to invest against those secular trends given the potential for near-term market volatility. The best part about RBC Imagine is that it allows us to expand our thinking and expand our time horizon, which is very important. I think as we step back, both from an intellectual curiosity standpoint, as well as just a true long-term investment framework, RBC Imagine really enables us to look 5, 10, 15 years down the road to try and leverage a true investment strategy around ideas that are going to transform and change the world.
This content is based on information available at the time it was recorded and is for informational purposes only. It is not an offer to buy or sell or a solicitation, and no recommendations are implied. It is outside the scope of this communication to consider whether it is suitable for you and your financial objectives. For disclosures, please visit www.rbccm.com/disclosure.